as always. Can you see me?
Yeah.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're recording. And I can see you. And you, oh, my God. It's one time out of, what have we done? 100 of these?
Yeah, Bill Gates give us one out of how many we've done.
Threw us a bone.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials except for the ones that we can't control in the beginning that we're not seeing a red cent for, and no bullshit. I heard people saying that they got it right with John Elway and how wrong we were. What I don't understand is these are the same people that said Elway didn't exist. He didn't exist. Or he was a suggestion box with legs at best. So I want to talk about. It looks like the front office. It appears that they cut the head off the snake finally. Now, people may be the reason I want to talk about Elway, and don't tell me what we can talk. Not you, but the peanut gallery out there. If we're going to talk about Sean Payton's, what Sean Payton's trying to do, but this whole Elway thing is extremely important. If you don't want to hear it, see you later. If you want to understand how this is going to affect the Broncos moving forward, in the short term and the long term, then stick around. But if people are skeptical of whether or not the guy, the suggestion box with legs, actually was shown the door for real this time, you can't blame somebody for being skeptical, because when the new ownership took over this time last year, maybe a little bit before, I should say, what wasn't it said that, oh, there's no more Elway, that's it, he's like, what was it he was going to be? He was in Hawaii drinking. He didn't even have an office, right? He didn't even have an office there. And then lo and behold, what happened? You had the search committee. You had our GM, who's basically nothing. I mean, the guy's a ghost. He hires Dan Quinn, and it turns out Elway's running a search committee and says no. And Nathaniel hires Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, how could George Payton possibly be the architect of bringing Russell Wilson, an architect of a $250 million deal, when he can't even hire a head coach? So we found that out. Also, this idea he didn't have an office and everything. Here comes Russell Wilson prancing into the office. What's up, boss? And them hugging each other in Elway's office, and one of the biggest offices at Dove Valley, overlooking the practice field. So that was all a lie. And then when you reread the articles that were recently written about John Elway's departure, in the bottom of you read the article on down. Oh, by the way, even though he was just a suggestion box with legs, he had considerable influence on the Denver Broncos. And then you read the fluff pieces about, whoa, he was doing, even behind the scenes, he was doing so much, which it backs up everything we were saying all along, no matter which way you want to slice it. We were right the whole time. This guy was, and we even got hoodwinked, because I played Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, thinking that, yeah, okay. So you were saying that you thought it was interesting that they waited for the draft to announce this deal with showing Elway the door. You want to talk about that?
Well, I just want to go back and reaffirm a point. Why did they bring in Nathaniel Hackett? Because they wanted to entice Rodgers to come here. Rodgers said no to Elway, and the rest is history. So what I find funny is that they, put out these articles a couple weeks before the draft. I really, really find that funny, because, and for all the people that told us that we were wrong, I don't know what agenda,
what planet they live on.
Yeah, it blows my mind. These people actually think that they were right on this, and we
Well,
have
these outlets said he didn't even exist. He's drinking, tequila somewhere in Hawaii, whatever it was, wherever. He wasn't, no association with the Broncos. Then, okay. All he does is suggest, he just makes some simple suggestions. But what I found very interesting about what I was reading in the articles was that the amicable decision. I mean, this is the bottom line. That ownership had no choice. But in my opinion, I do believe that now the head of the snake is cut off, because they got stuck with this $250 million albatross. They know that you can't build a team. I think they were going to say, okay, Elway, you talked us into all this. You better make this work. And it went down it was such a disaster. I think that, we're not even getting to the Sean Payton part of this yet. We're not even remotely, but I think, go ahead.
I don't think that the ownership realized that you couldn't, do this, that, and the third that you just mentioned. I think Sean Payton put some sense in that organization. This is how you're supposed to do it. I don't think it was, because this all happened right after Sean Payton was hired. This wasn't before Sean Payton was hired. This wasn't, when the season ended. This was a couple weeks before the draft. And I think what really happened is I think him and Elway clashed. I think, and again, it's a wait and see approach. I'm not going to sit here and say that the head is completely cut off the snake, because I want to see how this draft goes. There were still Elway moves in free agency, a la Mike McGlinchey, a la Zach Allen. Those are some of the Elway moves. I mean, there's those Elway contracts that are still in that building, a la Gregory.
Yeah. That's we're going to get into that. That's why this is important. This Elway topic is extremely important to understand this mess that Elway created. And it is a mess. I want to back up a little bit, because it's very important to explain the mess about this organization, how nobody wanted to come here, how we were right about that. And Sean Payton, first of all, they wanted to get Harbaugh, because I think what was going on is Sean Payton said, I want to be the highest paid coach. Okay, fine. But here's the situation. If I'm not going to be another Vance Joseph, a Fangio, a yes man Nathaniel Hackett, a yes man this, a yes man that. If you're really wanting me to come in and do something, I'm going to have to really take control of this animal. That's the clash but let's back it up a little further. I think the ownership realized immediately that they were sold a bill of goods. And you know what probably drove them crazy is that with all the media, all the money they spent on PR, all the money they spent on all the media out there, national, all this about how great last year was going to be. And because we break film down, we take every part and take a look at it. We said that it's not logical. It's not feasible. It's not mathematically possible. And we stood by it. And man, people couldn't understand. Well, all these media talking heads, how could you possibly go against that? Because our own eyeballs tell us something completely different. So when that actually turned out that, oh my God, these two guys in their parents' basement, right, that they were right. And on top of all of that, they got it right, except for that show, Iverson, Iverson. I think.
Yep. I know. Yep.
Yeah, Iverson was the only one that got it other than us. I think they realized, and then when they found out they could not get coaches to come here, this place was such a toxic dump. And so I think what happened is that when they started talking to these coaches, to Harbaugh, he didn't want nothing to do with this. There's no way around that. And they really tried to get him. And I think that they thought maybe he could work with the Elway front office. They could work something together. I don't think he wanted anything to do with that. And I think that the ownership realized what mess they actually had on their hands once they started to go out and try to get coaches. Go ahead.
Well, I think that you and I put so much pressure and kept pointing out the obvious, that they couldn't stand two people in their mother's basement each and every week during the season, during the past 3 that we've done this. They couldn't stand. And there's people that say that they don't listen to me, that they don't listen to us. But if the Denver Broncos didn't listen to us, then why have I had 3 channels taken down? Why are my videos continuously, even on YouTube, even on my new channel, Bucket Man Scouting, why are they continuously suppressed on YouTube? Yeah, you can go to the metrics. It should be getting more views than it is getting. And you have Mile High Bubble, for example, who gets these bot views, and we were getting the same average views with them before this new regime took over. So don't give me that.
Before the ownership came with.
But
well, they've started more channels to try to drown us out, and they even have an AI channel that's horrible. It's got 2K views. Are you? Come on, we know that's paid for. But so I mean, just to make your point, yes, I think they couldn't get around the reality, and I think Sean Payton explained to him. They said, you do realize you got yourself into a mess over there, and it's going to take somebody to unravel this mess. And well, before that, if you read the articles everything that Sean Payton was saying and everything Craig Penner was saying, they were in a lot of dialogue together to make Sean Payton, to get him happy, to bring him here. A lot of dialogue happened. And I think he was pointing out to him, what everybody could see. Everybody except this media machine they put together and the people that bought the bullshit. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think that I don't think a lot of people they like to talk about Sean Payton, and I think I've come around saying that Sean Payton is good X's and O's coach. I think that you and I both agree with that. But I think the one thing that goes under the rug per se is a lot of people don't understand the influence that Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland had for Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton took a lot of the principles that Jeff Ireland and Mickey Loomis instilled into Sean Payton. Because if you remember his early days in New Orleans, he was into that receiver, corner, all the above. But I think
he was into just ignoring the defense and getting a lot of offensive toys was really what.
Yes, but
toys that didn't really even help him out.
Yeah. Yep.
And toys that. So I like I said, I think yes, he's taking a look at the Broncos and saying, look, and we didn't even get to the part where he talked about he was watching the film and just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think what had to get him here, he had to be the highest paid. That was the bribe we said. We said you have to bribe anybody. You have to bribe him to come here. So they did that. So we were never wrong about that. That was the only way you could get him here. Harbaugh, nobody else wanted anything to do with this place, And then I think on top of that is like, I can't be just a yes man. I have got to have my hands. I got to have my hands on this thing. And if that clashes with anybody at the front office, he probably had to tell him, your front office has a track record that just gets worse every year. Nobody up there's got their shit together.
Yeah. I also want to bring up this point, too, for all the media turd polishers out there in terms of Locked On Broncos, Mile High Bubble, and all the above. If this was a top 5 defense, why did Ezra run for the hills to Carolina, who has better defensive player personnel than the Denver Broncos do? If this was a top 5 defense, why weren't defense coordinators flocking to come to Denver?
Well, I want to address that. I think that they had to throw a Hail Mary, and I think this is, Elway's final life rafter. It was just to talk, but I think even Vance Joseph wanted certain concessions too. He didn't want to just be, yes. I think he wants some say in this draft too. But I want to say this. I think Vance Joseph is going to be, again, one of the most flammable I think the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, with all the hype on this paper tiger, I think the defensive coordinator is going to be one of the most flammable coaching positions in the whole NFL.
I don't think it's the defense coordinator. I think it's going to be that defensive coaching staff as well.
Yes. So, yeah.
Look who they brought over. They brought over that Chargers that Chargers linebackers coach, and he likes to run a lot of off-ball coverage with his outside linebackers. And I'm like, what the? I mean, it just throwing.
Well, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if they would do that, but move Baron Browning into
4-3 defense in New Orleans. That was what he knew. He brought in defense coordinators that ran that system.
So we got a mismatch again.
That's what I've been trying to tell people. You can't mishmash into certain things. Look at a perfect example of this is look at what the Eagles did before the Super Bowl. They brought in Vic Fangio, who's mostly a 3-4 under coach. He runs 3-4 under principles. And what do the Eagles run? They run a 4-3 under defense. And look how that affected their defensive game plan in the Super Bowl. You can't mismesh coaches with different systems you can't do that. That's not how football works. You can't do that. You have to have the same vision offensive, defensively, and also in that front office. And I want to talk about these scouts because you talk about the defense coordinator. I'm going to be very curious what happens to these scouts. I think that this scouting.
Yeah, we need to get back to that conversation again. We need to talk about what Elway, the mess Elway left behind.
Well, the mess that Elway left behind was 8 years of losing seasons, and people cheerled that shit.
Well, okay, but what else is going on? You've got a whole front office full of people that Elway put in there that scouted the Josie Jules, the Cushionberries, all the B graded,
Nick
D
Burrito.
graded, Nick Burritos, so
Garrett
all the Garrett Bowles, and people love Garrett for whatever the reason, or think that he's like anyway. So
he's not for people that.
What Sean Payton? When we were talking about this, Sean Payton is up against a vertical like this. I like the concepts that he's trying to bring in. He's trying to bring in, like you said, a smash mouth, run heavy, because he's got Russell Wilson. I'm disappointed Russell Wilson isn't more proactive right now.
But that's what you paid for.
Yeah.
And what I find funny is that there have been reports that have come out that they've been in trade talks with the fucking Patriots for Mac Jones.
Which makes total sense.
From what we said.
Yeah, I think the whole this is the thing. Elway thought that you could run a team with splashy moves. It was all about swinging for the fence because it was all about him and it was all about his ego. He thought, if I just we're just this away, we're just that away. But his staff, they really hit on no one, really. I mean, when I mean hit on somebody, I mean, like, Chris Jones or something, or any position.
What the Eagles have done in their scouting department, getting guys like drafting and develop a Jordan Davis, who I wanted in the draft. Everyone thought I was nuts. And look, he got hurt, but he's a damn good player. He's taken over for Javon Hargrave, who's no scrub, and they drafted and developed him. The Giants with Evan Neal, what the 49ers are doing with Adam Peters. I mean, just don't give me that shit that
yes, I sent you an article from 2017 where Elway blew it all up and then put it together. We had great coaching. We had great scouting. Yeah. We had Von Miller. We had Derek Wolfe. We had all these
in the 7th round, Malik Jackson in the sixth round. You Kayvon Webster's, the Cody Latimers that contributed on special teams. You got, you drafted and developed players. That's the whole. You got guys.
You got rid of all of that.
Yeah, Zane Beadles, Chris Coopers, who was there for a long time. You had Orlando Franklin, who they drafted and developed at the right tackle. They had guys.
Look where those people went. They only got rid of. They went to San Francisco and they went to the LA Rams, and did great. They're doing great. And the Rams, their player personnel, it spoke for themselves. They went on and they even brought in Wade Phillips. I mean, you just can't ignore that. So, and all we wanted to ever do was make this team better by pointing out what was going on. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can't.
Well, of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not going to sit here and cheerlead a team that didn't show me action through with the moves that they made. They didn't do shit. They were all talked through off seasons and all the above. Why am I going to sit here and waste my time with a team that doesn't care about the long-term rebuild? I mean, for instance, you have the Chiefs, you have the fucking Eagles, you have the Bills, you have the Bengals that are starting to do it, you have the Tennessee Titans that are blowing it up.
I think the Raiders are blowing it up.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. The Raiders are still the Raiders.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that even I think they are trying to blow it up too.
Well, yes, but what I'm coming from is the Denver Broncos, like you said, under the Elway regime, were into the splashy moves, getting guys, again, could you imagine if we didn't pay Russell Wilson this big contract, this would be the last year on his original deal, and we could just wash our hands with it and be done with it?
Well, yeah, but they had it. They had to pay him because that was probably the underlying agreement to get him to even come here. Because are you sure this is what you're going to do? Do you think he really wanted to come to the Denver Broncos, or do you think maybe he was trying to call Seattle's bluff?
He called Seattle's bluff, and he said it in the press conference where he said himself, he raved about Seattle. He raved about him.
Yeah.
In his
opening. Are you sure this is what you want to do? You look like a deer in the headlight, didn't he? And all season long, he played like a deer in the headlight. Who was
the most stacked quarterback in the league last year?
It was Russell Wilson.
And don't give me that shit that people said that, we knew the offensive line was shit. Don't give me that.
Oh, no, because all we did was get shit year after year after year talking about it.
I don't want to hear that. You guys were wrong about it. I don't want to hear it.
It was good enough, didn't we get? It's good enough. Every year, good enough. It's good enough. The front office says it's good enough, so it had to be good enough. Because nobody has a mind of their own. Nobody, except us, who watch, and say, look, you can see the emperor has no clothes. Oh, you too. Oh. All we wanted was his team to get better, and it just got progressively worse.
Okay, my track record speaks for itself when it comes to scouting. I'm not right on every pick, but my God, I'm pretty damn close when it comes to those later round picks that can help out your team depth-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Highlight reels are not fucking film reviews.
No.
They're not. Just because you show highlight reels of Justin Simmons against bad quarterbacks doesn't mean that's a fucking film review.
No.
You have to get the ins and outs of things. That's what I do for a living. That's what this guy does for a living. That's what Mile High Bubble wants to start doing. I don't care about highlight reels. They're the most worthless thing in terms of football analysis. They're one of the.
It's great for clickbait. It is great for clickbait.
Yeah, if you want to clickbait people and mind rape.
Yeah, they do. So like and subscribe. Ring the bell.
I never tell my audience to like and subscribe. I never tell them.
No. If you want to be bullshitted, I said this. We've said this so many times. Go and like and subscribe the bullshit. Go to where the bullshit. They will love to bullshit you. But if you want to hear the straight scoop, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent about how you feel about what we're saying, we will give you the straight scoop on what's going on. So I want to talk about George Payton's, who's up against I think I like what he's at least trying to do. Sean Payton. I say George Payton?
Yep.
I get everybody, even Kliss was getting the Paytons. Well, speaking of the Kliss interview, Kliss, these other channels are, it's George Payton. He's picking it's George Payton picking all these players. And it was Kliss saying, no. This is George Payton, except for maybe like you said, that McClinchy.
Sean Payton. Not
yeah,
George.
So me and you were talking about what we're seeing that Sean Payton offensively wants to do. And that's really running the ball down people's throats.
What did I say in my offensive analysis of the Sean Payton scheme that I got shit for?
Well, he's going to run, but he also wants to do the quick passes.
Yep.
especially when Breeze's his long ball started to kind of fizzle out.
Yep.
And that short game is kind of what he did with those other quarterbacks too, Teddy Bridgewater, quick release stuff.
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, Jamie. Well, yeah, and that would really work well with Russell Wilson. But man, I'll tell you what, I'm just not. I'm not getting any kind of vibe from Russell Wilson right now. Like maybe it's still a little early. I don't know, but I would think it's getting, when May starts rolling around, I better hear that he wants to get with these receivers. Sean Payton obviously wanted to get rid of. That told you, in my opinion, once Sean Payton looked at film and saw what we talked about, wanted to get rid of these receivers. That's when I really felt that something was going on. And obviously, the next thing you knew, Sean Payton or John Elway gets shown the door. Basically, when I say shown the door, we do not want to renew your contract. And I said he would retire because nobody's going to want to hire him as a consultant. And they don't want, I'm sure they don't want him even anywhere near their organization.
Yeah.
So it came out, yes, I'm going to retire. I'm getting out completely. So what I like with Sean Payton is it's going to be smash mouth, run it down your throat. We're going to try to overpower you, get in short yard situations that we can manage. And, I want to see how he is in the red zone and this kind of thing. He likes to use a lot of different players in different situations. I think defensively, I think that's where the Broncos will go against the grain, is going to be up against because what the only stat that really they have going for them is the point stat. And that's because teams did not feel they had to score points on the Denver Broncos, and that's why they did so much experimenting. But when they had to score, they just scored. That's the part that nobody wants to take a look at. You're frozen. I hope
I'm here.
I hope I am coming in. Now you're completely gone.
I'm here.
Now you're back. Yeah, I hope I'm coming in better than I did yesterday or the last.
Yeah,
I was
you are
in and out the last one. But I like what he's attempting to do. I'm glad I think, and I hope that the trend continues, because we're stuck at the front office with all those Elway staff members. And I don't think I just think they need to go. I just don't think they showed anything for the 7 years. What they've shown is that, and you can blame a coach, you can blame a quarterback, but there's a lot. I mean, Cortland Sutton you can blame him. Judy, I mean, come on. Yes, he's made some progress, but Tim Patrick, okay, but none of these guys, they're the third largest paid receiver group that hasn't done shit. And it ain't just because of the quarterback. Some of it is. I'll go there. But not all of it. We watched the
agree with you on that.
Yeah. And that's the
I agree with you. I don't agree with you because how many coaches they've gone through in terms of offense coordinators, head coaches, they can't stick to a fucking system. So how are you supposed to grow as a player when you're
exactly.
going?
That's a great point. That's a great point. That's a great point. So
look at Dalton Reisner for perfect example. Look at Noah Fant, perfect example.
Exactly. So yes. So I think that Sean Payton has told them, I'm sure there were conversations as what's the philosophy over there? What are they telling you? And I think Sean Payton said, man, these people don't know what they're doing. You can't it's not about splash moves. It's not about getting a quarterback, and it's not about just getting this one player. You got to put together an identity. You have to stick to that identity. You have to build around that identity. And the Denver Broncos never had an identity. It was, we want to run the Kubiak system one year. Then it's, we want to be the Kansas City Chiefs the next year. Oh, they're doing that. We want to do that now. They're like chasing their own tail, or a snake swallowing their own tail in the process. They're going wherever the wind was blowing. So I'm hoping that what we're seeing is Sean Payton said this, we got to start really coming into it. We need to build a core in this team. And right now, I think Sean Payton, the only thing he can do right now is start working on the offense and see what happens with the defense, right? It's, the fifth best defense until a team wants to score, and then they just score on them. Yeah. So if Sean Payton gets anything out of this offense, this thing that he's doing, if he gets anything out of it and teams feel that they can't do what they did last year, just start experimenting and then score when they want to score to win a game, I think you're going to see the defense getting exposed a lot more consistently than they did last year. What's your thought on that?
Well, I think what you're seeing from Sean Payton and those pre-draft visits are telling me everything. They're going looking for a blocking tight end out of Michigan who I like. They went and got that Arkansas State guy who I'm a big fan of, and everybody, don't look at that film review. Look at, others, but that's fine with me. He brought in the NC State guard. I mean, what he's doing is solidifying that interior offensive line, in my opinion. He is solidifying the A and B gaps. They're going to run those A and B gaps. I guarantee you they will. Right behind Michael Burton, they're going to have Chris Manhertz. And if they draft that tight end out of Michigan, you can run those heavy personnel packages. And if they do that, damn, they're going to play that. You're going to come out, if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, you're going to come out bruised and battered, and it's going to be a tough game to play against the Broncos in terms offensively if they do it correctly. Don't fucking experiment. That's the one thing I do not want to see. But again, I want to see how this draft goes. I'm going to know if this is a Sean Payton draft or this is still the typical Elway draft because track record speaks for itself.
Well, again, I just want to iterate, even though Elway isn't there this time, maybe, hopefully, he's not there. His player personnel, his player staff is still there, including George Payton, which, in my opinion, he doesn't even exist anyway. But I think that I think that they're going to rely on Vance Joseph, who with Arizona did a decent job from the 3-4 concept. As far as the drafting goes. So I think they're going to rely on him. But that front office, I think they think they're set at defense. And I think reality is going to find out. They're going to find out that they need improvements on the D line. They need improvements, in linebacking. And we're not
middle linebacker.
In the linebacking, yes. And I think what Sean Payton is going to see on the film, what we see in the film with what's his face, Justin Simmons, playing Manchester United, the goalie, giving up 40 yards of cushion. I want to talk about that really quick too, because when we brought a safety in from a small college, and I really don't like how these safeties are being played with some of these teams, playing that Manchester United 40 yards cushion, or they line them up as an extra linebacker, and it's like, wait a minute, why can't you just have your safety be a safety? Because I watched when they were doing that, they got exploited because there was nobody back there.
Well, I will say that to counter that point, there are safeties in the NFL that you can run that with. Guys like Cam Chancellor back in the day, you could do that because you had an Earl Thomas in the backfield that could help cover. You had, TJ Ward. They did with TJ Ward. They would bring him down to the box to help out with running or blitz packages. Or Derwin James is another example.
Well, that they've always done that. But what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing there,
you have to have a certain.
They're a backstop. They're not a part of they're not sitting with the linebackers. They're a backstop, so they're another barrier. Yeah. You don't line them up. You don't. It's just stupid.
Yeah, Justin Simmons just sucks all around. So I've beaten a dead horse with that for years, and people just don't.
Well, I'm saying that if he keeps getting burned, and there's no bad quarterbacks giving him a gift every time, I think that's something that's gonna it's not gonna go well with Sean Payton. I think the defense. I think we're gonna get more stability on offense, but I think defensively. I'm hoping that Vance Joseph can keep them gap minded like the other Edgerode did. And but I just think that again they're going to get exploited exactly the way they got exploited last year.
Yeah.
Because that's the part that's not changing in my book. That part stayed pretty much the same. They have nobody to give push up the middle. So quarterbacks are just going to step up like that we saw when you showed film. Quarterbacks consistently stepping up into the pocket and hitting their targets, usually 65 to 75% on Justin Simmons, Surtain's side of the field, or they would go and attack the linebacking. And that's all they do. When they really wanted to move the ball on the Denver Broncos and get away from all that experimental shit that they were doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I see that's going to continue next well. But if the Denver Broncos can stay on the field, I just want to see, I'm really curious to see how Russell Wilson approaches this season. Is he really serious, or does he even really give a fuck? You're dark, dude. You're like in a dark hole.
Yeah, I'm in my mother's basement.
Yeah, you look like you're on a Beatles album cover or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to discuss, the impact. I think it's a positive impact not having Elway there. Big time. I think there was too much behind the scenes nonsense going on. Player, what was it that the guy said that on Cody Rourke, the former Broncos said players were getting preferential treatment and stuff. You don't get that with Sean Payton. And I think that's what he called out the receivers right off the bat, and they got pissed off. Well, yeah, this isn't Elway running it anymore, I think was the message.
Yeah.
But now we have to go further and start getting Sean Payton's people to start taking those administrative jobs in scouting.
Absolutely. That's what I'm going to look for. So
we definitely need better scouting. That's for sure than what we've had for 7 years.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got right now.
That's it for me. I'm just going to continue to do my scout prep and all that good stuff. So
yeah, and I'll go ahead and post links of scout film that you've done that I haven't posted from the other. So you're almost completely blacked out. So
yeah, yep, absolutely.
So I guess that's going to be about it. I guess we'll just wait for the draft then.
Yeah, I think we don't have a pick till the third round. So
let's recap one thing. So who exactly have they brought in that you really like?
In terms of pre-draft visits,
yeah.
That Arkansas State guard who I like. He's probably the favorite player that they have brought in to do a pre-draft visit with.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you think they're solidified at center?
No, fuck
and
no.
I know they have three centers supposedly.
Their plan is, I think, and I think what I would do is Ben Powers left guard, Quentin Minor center, and that Arkansas State is your right guard. Those are maulers, and that would be one of the better young up-and-coming interior offensive lines in football. If you do that right, you got a hell of a fucking group. Was Zach Strife coaching these guys? And I also want to say this. I can see myself. I'm completely fucking dark. I'm in my mother's basement right now. But just to say this, you guys better look out for Zach Strife because he's a young up-and-coming coach, and I'm tired of the disrespect people are showing this dude. When Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey said one of the main reasons they came here was Sean Payton number 1, Zach Strife number 2. Put respect on that guy's fucking name.
They don't know. No, they've never known anything about the offensive line.
Stop disrespecting him. It's pissing me off.
They don't know anything. They know corners, they know receivers, they know quarterbacks. They know nothing else because that's all they talk about all day.
Well, how you win Super Bowls and win games is the offensive defensive lines, not your fucking princess quarterbacks.
What happened to Mahomes when they played Tampa Bay, and what did Mahomes say after this last Super Bowl?
Oh, he wanted to get a new group of offensive linemen, and they have one of the better O-lines in football with the fucking Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, so after Tampa Bay, they went and solidified. They understand it. These people you're talking about, They're nobodies. They, like I said, if you want to listen to people that don't know what they're talking about, there's plenty of them out there. And then they get so butthurt when the Broncos, they're doing more about what we talk about.
Well, those people just want to tell us what we should be talking about, and they don't know an ounce about football. They just sit there, play their Madden 23, and watch the highlight reels and watch the game every Sunday and drink a few beers and just do the fucking news. And then they will support bad fucking 8 years of bullshit. And I'm not going to fucking do that.
No,
sorry.
No.
I
want to figure out how to fix this thing. And all we've done is pointed out what was wrong, and the team progressively got worse. What we're seeing at least an attempt that there's some adults that have finally got into the building with and maybe kicking some of the ego out a little bit, the bad ego out with Elway leaving the door. Hopefully we can get better scouting. We can start to. I hope Sean Payton can build a core that we can just keep building on and sticking to an identity. But it's going to take a long time. I don't think this team's going to be ready. I think it's going to falter on the defensive side, and it's going to surprise people. And Vance Joseph will be blamed for it, albeit this has been in the making long before, making probably since he was here and left and came back. So this has been brewing up for a long time. So I think that's going to surprise some people next year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Vance Joseph will be the fall guy. Oh, look what you did. No, Edgerro didn't want to be here for a reason. Nobody else but Vance Joseph was the only person, and they had to beg him to come here. I guess you could thank Elway for that, if you know.
Well,
And Sean Payton wasn't a shoo-in. They had to do a lot of negotiating to get him here. He wasn't pounding. I want to go. I want this baby. Oh, I want to go. He said, they said there was a lot of talks, a lot of things they had to work out. So it wasn't a shoe-in, and that's another reason why I think they were going for Harbaugh the whole time, because I think Sean Payton said, okay, you're going to pay me, but I need a lot of control because what you're doing over there, it ain't working. You can have all your media say all this garbage, but let's face it, it ain't working. If you want it fixed, you either listen to what I have to say, or you just keep John Elway and keep what you've been doing for 7 years. Just keep that in place and hope that things will change. So, and I think that by the moves that I'm seeing a lot more Sean Payton than I am the old Bronco front office. That's what I'm seeing.
Couldn't agree more.
They just need to really stick to that core and keep building off of that core, not get experimental, get cutesy, and decide they're going to be something that they're not. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment, and we'll see what happens draft, and hopefully they do it right, but I'm wait and see approach for me. So.
Oh yeah. And we'll just call it a step in the right direction, but we're not going to go out. We're not going to go far out.
Like other people have been. I'm not getting too ahead of myself.
No, they've quieted a lot of that down.
Yeah, because the player on this team sucks ass.
What's that?
They know that the player personnel, majority of it, sucks ass on the Denver Broncos. That's why they've calmed down.
Yes. But like you said, too, is because of mismanagement. Let's face it, these players really never had a chance either. So it's a lot of that going on, too. Yeah. So hopefully we're going to get a identity, a center, because you can't buy it. You can't go out and like the NBA and throw it together like it's a dream team. It's the Olympics,
You can't buy championships in football. It's not how it works. You can have all the money in the world, but you have to spend it correctly.
Yeah, exactly. You can have all the money, but if you don't know if you're just a guy with a fire hose spraying money in everything that moves.
Yeah, for the people that say we have all this Walmart money and that
doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
What happens if you're putting money into bad things like Russell Wilson?
Yeah, look how that turned out.
So it just
Andy Gregory. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, I know.
These people are stupid. I'm just not even gonna say anything more. I said everything I needed to say. I can't engage with stupid.
I know.
It
All
really
right.
hurts my brain. It really hurts my brain when people actually claim that they watched the film, and it's a slap in the face to people like me who actually put in the hard work to show people film to help educate people with film. It's a slap in the face because those people say that, oh, they know everything about football. This, that, and the third. And then I have to literally have people send me shit of highlight reels.
They know not what they do. They definitely know not what they do.
And to the people that come on and comment stupid shit on my channel, I have been removing you. So you might want to think twice about saying stupid shit on my channel because you will be removed. I'm not going to have stupid people and have other people engage with that. I want people that want to be educated and that actually want to look at the film. So if you're going to say stupid shit on my channel, you're going to get removed.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, there's no place for it anymore. It's just we ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that we're now as negative as we had because with the Elway regime kind of thing, but we're also putting things in perspective that we are believers in what Sean Payton is doing. We want to get that out. We like what he's doing, but he is, and I'm going to say it, he is up against a lot. He still has a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
And he's going to need a lot of help. I think he needs to bring in. We need a turnover. I think in the front. I think we do. I think things will go better. We can't just be throwing money, like you said, like a fire hose at everything that's moving, hoping that that'll be the quick fix. No more quick fixes. I don't mind taking a few years, working up, as long as they're building on something, they can stick to it. I mean, if I was a Steeler fan, yes, we haven't been to the playoffs in a while. Things aren't, but I know that there's a core that they can build around, that sooner or later, if they, play their cards like the Kansas City Chiefs do, draft correctly and keep building, and they'll be fine down the road. I'm just saying teams that are the Rams even right now, if the Buffalo keeps doing what they're doing, they'll finally get their Super Bowl, but they're always in that Super Bowl talk anyway. At least, I could even handle that. But I don't want to be just happy to be there. You made one LA Charger appearance. Oh God, I'm so happy that we made that LA Charger happy to be their appearance. Probably won't make it again. Who knows? So, that's not where I just would like to have this team build and then be a force year after year after year.
Yeah.
And just stick to that building approach. And I think that's what's going to work for Kansas City with that Mahomes. They can plug in. They have a great scouting department. They can get people, pay them, not overpay them, but pay them, and move ones out that want more money, and then bring in for their scouting department up and comers. That's what's working out for them so well. But this model's been around a lot for them, a lot longer than Mahomes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you go because you are. One last thing. Do you eat Frosted Flakes?
Do I eat Frosted Flakes? No, I don't eat that sugary substance.
With a GMO corn syrup?
Yeah, I actually try to eat, what men have created. So.
I mean, what God had created, not me.
So, all the above.
All right. Yes, it looks like you're in the witness protection program right now.
Oh, I am. I'm loving it. I gotta go home and do my.
Have you charged up your DARPA dog? Did you get him off the charger?
Yeah, I have, and he's been set loose on a few people. So.
Oh, good. Did he tell them to put their masks on?
Yeah. Martial law. I know.
Oh, okay. You barked out martial law.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Thank you, Klaus Schwab and the New World Order for ordering. Donald Trump at opera show for the trial too. Thank you so much for that.
Show trial, yeah. It's really helping Trump's campaign.
Yeah. You ready for 24?
Clown show 24.
You heard it here first. Trump will be president in 2024.
I said that back when I said that in 2020.
Yeah, he'll be.
And then you got him, and then the guy with no brain. He's looking for his. Where's my brain? Did you see my brain? Where's my brain?
He's a Chi-Com operative, so
I think I just think he's somebody they just got from the nursing home and wheeled him out there.
Yeah,
That's old Biden.
That's old Biden for you. That's
Yeah,
the
where's my brain? Where's my brain? Where's my brain?
Yeah.
You see my brain?
That's the world we live in now, ladies and gents. Of course, ready for the trans movement and the LGBTQQQQR, whatever they're fucking
RSTUDWXYZ.
And they are the ones that cause a lot of mass shootings, just FYI, but whatever.
I don't know if I think they're an easy target.
Well, they're easily manipulative. That's why.
I think they're the group they can spit out like
they're like Antifa.
Use them up, spit them out.
They're like Antifa. You can spit them out.
Yeah, use them up and spit them out because they'll serve a purpose. Yeah,
just like the January 6th thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just like use them up and spit them out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just keep falling for it.
Did a great job of defending the people while you're hiding in your fucking White House office eating McDonald's.
McDonald's for everyone. Bring them all McDonald's, right?
God, Trump is such a fake ass motherfucker.
Man,
this is the world we live in, folks. The world we live in.
Yeah, Justin Simmons. It's look at the highlight reel.
Yeah, look at.
I like how they're AI. They got AIs that they're not even real people. It looks real.
Look at that highlight reel throw with the third string quarterback for the Cardinals, Tracy McSorley, just threw him the ball. Look at. Don't
you understand? Don't you understand? Well, but Mahomes, look at the Mahomes. Yeah, you got one. You got one out of 2 years. Out of 2 years, you got one. Yeah. What about all the times that they were throwing over his side of the field when he was like giving up massive yardage?
What did Patrick Mahomes do in that game against the Broncos at home? He did a rugby pass over Justin Simmons' head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then, but he could look good against Tyler Huntley, who's a backup quarterback for the Ravens, who just threw. And that's why
But what did their backup quarterback for the Ravens do when they needed to score?
He got pissed.
Then he went right back over to his area and scored the winning touchdown. But nobody wants to talk about that.
When Mahomes threw the pass to Simmons, what did Mahomes do? He laughed.
Yeah. Oh, that has stuck with me the whole time. Yeah. Him and his offensive lineman or Ty, whoever that was, they both just laughed. They just looked at each other. I'm like, oh man. And then Justin Simmons ripping his shirt, sliding, oh, look at Manchester United.
Yeah, that's our safety right there.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you go.
All right, Jeffrey Epstein. See you later.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein. That ain't me. He left the bunnies on the porch.
Yeah, he's probably in Mar-a-Lago with Trump, or he's probably on some secluded island.
He's dead. Yeah. Do you know that?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I like that. I like that wink. Wasn't he on the gurney with the little wink and a smile, whatever that was?
Yeah.
They're probably throwing him a party somewhere. I'm sure.
Yeah, probably on Epstein Island or somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah. We should bow down to these people for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Klaus Schwab. I'll eat insects for the rest of
my. That's my Klaus Schwab laugh.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm ready.
End with a Klaus Schwab laugh.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You got a Klaus Schwab laugh. The Zaman in the high tower.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.